and welcome to Pale Blue Pod, the astronomy podcast for people who are overwhelmed by the universe but still want to be its friend. I'm your host, Dr. Moiya McTier. I'm an astrophysicist, a folklorist, and a good friend to the universe. I am recording today from my office here at Pale Blue Podiversity, and I'm expecting a special guest, a personal friend. Sean Crespo is an actor, a writer, a comedian, and my co-star of the soon-to-be hit new micro-series, That's a Lot. I think I hear him walking down the hallway now. Sean, come on in.
Hey, how are you?
Good. It's good to see you. I can't believe you've never been to my office before.
This is crazy. I did not expect you to be the sort of person who had all those accessories posters. Like you got like 3 eagles with excellence underneath. That's crazy, Moiya.
Well, I love an eagle and I love excellence. Who can blame me?
Yeah, well, why would you have more of them? Actually, I know what to get you for Christmas now. You're gonna get
good.
You're gonna get like I'll make it like a different bird with a different word. So maybe a falcon that says "doing okay."
Yes, it's the beaks and the wings that I really care about. That's what's important. Well, Sean, is there anything else you would want the listeners to know about you? Before we dive in, I do have some get-to-know-you questions, but anything off the dome you want to just let rip?
Oh, God, I had 4 fuzzy children. I have 2 now. I'm not going to make this sad. I went to drama school with Benedict Cumberbatch. How about that? How about that? I did. And we're like neck and neck in terms of who's doing best from our class. Some days it's me. Most of the time it's him. Some days it's me. Like, you know, when I booked a guest star on FBI, he was like, oh, I better work harder. I need to catch up.
You're the, what is it in running? Like the pacers, you know, like.
Yeah. I'm Cumberbatch's pace runner for his career. Like he booked something. He booked a small voiceover on a radio commercial. I must work harder. Doctor Strange must be in more things.
Oh, well, then you're doing the ladies' work.
Yeah.
As we say.
Yeah, I'm pushing hard.
Okay, well, I would love to get to know you a bit better. For listeners, Sean and I have been friends since 2017.
Is that crazy?
I know. We've been working on trying to sell a show together since 2019. So I know Sean pretty well, but I don't know the answers to any of these questions I'm about to ask you.
Well.
So first, we're going to start with, when you think about the vast universe out there, how do you feel, Sean?
Comforted in some ways because, you know, it's that human thing of, oh, I really don't matter. Okay. All right. Little perspective. But then, you know, we also have to live in these bodies and in the country that we're in right now. And that's like, oh, that's beautiful. Interstellar dust is out there making beautiful shapes and colors, but also masked fucking federal agents are kidnapping people. So it's both. It's like takes me totally out of it and then brings me right back.
Yeah, like the contrast is so stark that you see both at the same time.
Yeah, it's like watching the movie The Room. The Room is simultaneously so bad and so good.
Sean, do you think I've seen The Room?
I know you have not. I don't even know why. There's also a movie called Room that a lot of people are like, why does that guy think the movie Room is funny? Because that's about an abduction.
Oh, very different.
Yeah, very different vibes. But also, Room would have been made a lot better by Tommy Wiseau, who you don't know who that is, but trust me, anybody who does would be like, oh, yeah, I could see that.
Okay, all right. So this is a game we like to play where I don't know any of Sean's references, and then he has to spend like 5 times the amount of time that he spent doing the original reference explaining it. It's great. I love this game.
Well, yesterday you made you can't see this, but I just did a hand gesture.
David Byrne?
David Byrne. Yes, I was doing his music video thing. I couldn't remember his name. But you made a David Byrne reference. You were like, are you surprised I know David Byrne? I kind of was, but not really. Like, he's kept busy. But I would be surprised if you knew something like, Flock of Seagulls.
I do know Flock of Seagulls.
Oh,
and I ran so far away.
You don't look at you.
Ha 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 ha. Yo, Sean, even baby millennials are old enough to have had a sad nostalgia phase.
What is that from?
Oh, we'll get to it. That's a sneak peek to That's a Lot. Stay to the end of the episode if you want to hear about this really fun show Sean and I have been working on.
It's really cool. It's really, really cool. Promise.
Okay, next get to know you question. Sean, what's your favorite unit of measurement? And please do not say kilometer.
The smoot, because you went to school across that bridge and I went to school across the other side of that bridge on Mass Ave. It's just you know all about smoots.
I've heard of smoots. I think many of our listeners have not.
Okay,
what's a smoot?
The smoot is the lore is that it's it was an MIT student, Oliver Smoot. There it is. So they were just trying to measure mass half, but they used Oliver as the measurement. So that's what a smoot is, and it goes all the way across the bridge, and it's lovely. I love that story.
So valid. I often will use me as a measure of like length. You know, that couch is 1.2 Moiyas long. Like it works.
I wish we could train Google Maps to do that. Like that journey to Boston is 4 million Crespos or Moiyas.
Right. Coming soon to a app near you.
Oh God, actually, hey, that's a great idea. What are we talking about? Get off this podcast and let's build an app.
Let's do it. Sean, do you feel like your sun sign in astrology, your zodiac sign, fits your personality?
I don't know. What do you mean? Like Sagittarius? Is that what you mean?
I don't know what your sign is.
I'm a Sagittarius from what I understand.
Okay. Do you feel like that fits, or do you have any idea what that even means? I
once read something like they're fiery. I don't think I'm fiery. I am combustible though, so I will say that. I'm not fiery, but I'm able to catch fiery. So if that's what a Sagittarius is, yeah, I fly off the handle once in a while. No, not all the time.
Are you good at archery?
Oh, that's right. That's Sagittarius. No, but I have read Zen and the Art of Archery, like many times.
That counts.
Yeah. It's a lovely book, by the way. It's very peaceful. Even the book is peaceful.
Like the cover of it or something?
No, just the reading of it is like very common because it's just all about like this German philosopher who's like went to Japan way back in the day and just learned he had to just master breathing before he could do anything else. And it's about that moment between the breaths sort of thing that matters. It's like jazz. It's the notes you don't play.
Yeah, it's the negative space.
Yeah.
Okay, I learned that you are clearly not an astrology person.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I think I knew that about you already. Next question. What law of nature would you change if you could?
Ooh, damn. I mean, does entropy count?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I wouldn't halt entropy, but if I could slow it so that we had a frame of reference from what life was like now, and then kept that afterward, I would do that. But that falls kind of in line with like people who would just want to live longer and, I want to be around to see what happens. And, maybe if the chaos in my body slows a little bit or is more controlled, I mean, that's all like a lot of research is centered around reversing entropy. But what if we could just slow it?
Just slow it. Okay, so keep it unidirectional. Let's not play with the arrow of time.
No.
Very Sagittarius of you. But let's, manipulate its speed a little bit.
I just want like a little less chaos. Look, chaos is good. Change is good. Change is how we mark the passage of time itself. It's how we mark in ourselves and the world around us. But like, I don't know. I would like to not have every store be a Walmart or Starbucks. So maybe if we slow entropy, we can have a couple more mom and pop shops for like 10 more years.
Oh, societal entropy as well as personal.
Yeah. Sorry. It's like physical. I want it to manifest in all, fiscal, all the ways. Yeah.
Love it. I'll allow it. I'll talk to the universe. I'll put in a good word.
Do you need a reference from somebody else? Like I can give you my resume.
Sure. Yeah. We'll talk about, I'll have my people and the universe's people contact your people.
That's fine. As long as an AI doesn't get to vet my resume.
Oh, no, the universe actually will not deal with AI.
Oh, good for the universe. God damn.
It made the executive decision.
I like the universe already, but I really like it now.
Okay, Sean, this is the final question, and I think it is the hardest question that I ask my guests. Are you ready?
Okay.
Sean, imagine you're an astronaut.
No.
You're about to blast off into space. You are strapped into the pilot's seat, but you are in charge of the playlist. So what song do you want playing while you launch?
Oh, man, you don't want me in charge of music. It's such a bad idea. Like, we used to do a show at a place called Rafifi, called the Drink at Work Show. And one day, the bartender showed up and her phone was broken. She asked if she could borrow somebody's phone to play songs. And I was like, here's my playlist. And she just sat with venomous eyes looking at me while she mixed drinks because she hated my playlist so much. It was like a lot of okay music, like music I like, but it was like a lot of Johnny Clegg and Savuka. Yep, there you go. I see your face. You can't see her face, but like
it's an audio medium, but it's a confused face.
Yeah, it is. It was a lot of that. And then, I used to, I'd play Enya to go to sleep. So there'd be like, Shepherd Moons would start playing in the middle of this busy bar on Friday night. And she was like, what the f is this? And so she practically threw my phone back at me. So you don't want me playing with your playlist. But if I had to do it, probably a lot of Billy Joel. I'm sorry. It's like, you're going to be listening to like bottle of red, bottle of white. And then I would probably cap it off with like with a real banger, like do you really want to taste it? From the James Gunn series, Peacemaker.
Yes, you have a launch song and a leaving the atmosphere song.
Yeah, and they're both sort of 80s themed, so it's like
it fits.
I can't
That's
fight
like the
myself.
Overlap of our interests and pop culture knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you a lot better now, Sean. Thank you for sharing those answers with us.
Thanks for letting me share.
Now we're going to, get to the reason we're all here. We're talking today about the movie Sunshine. I know this wasn't your first time seeing it.
No, I've seen it a couple times, but a long time ago. It's been years and years because it's from 2007 or 6 or something.
Yeah, 2007. Did it live up to your memory of it?
Yeah, it's fantastic, but my God, it's so stressful.
It's so stressful.
We
were texting. We watched the movie separately, and we were texting during it. And I at one point texted Sean. I was like, "I'm only 30 minutes into this movie, and I'm so stressed already."
Yeah, it's like, did you ever see Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler?
No.
Like, don't.
But I know who Adam Sandler is.
Hey, every conversation is a little win like that. It's just, we're not going to get into it. It's just an incredibly stressful movie, and it is shot specifically to stress you out. That is the only movie. Yes.
So, yeah, you're right. It is. This movie is shot like it's a horror movie. It's a horror thriller.
Yeah.
Set in space, which is my worst nightmare. Which is fine.
Don't see Event Horizon. Then.
Okay.
Ever.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So we're gonna tell you what happens in the movie, listeners. We're gonna give a little summary of it. There will be some spoilers, and then we're going to tell you what we loved and hated about the movie. Then we'll rate it on our very official, very formal Pale Blue Pod rubric system. So, Sean, if you were at a party and someone was like, "Oh, you just saw Sunshine? What's it about? What happens?" What would you say?
Danny Boyle tries to fuck with your mind again. That's what I'd say. Like, fuck Danny Boyle, and then I'd walk out and I'd throw the drink in their faces so they never watch it and avoid this stress, even though it's a beautiful movie.
He's the director.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very stressful. I will say, listeners, I will not be watching this movie again, and I want to make this episode of the pod so that you don't have to watch the movie if you don't want
It is. To be fair, it's a beautiful movie.
Yes.
It's just you better be in the right headspace to take it all in.
Yes. Before we get into the specifics, I will say my overall review of this movie is I did not like it one bit, but I respect the hell out of it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting because I love this. The irony is I love this movie, and it was very hard to rewatch, but I could see myself rewatching it again because sometimes you just gotta like hurt yourself on purpose.
I have other ways of doing that, Sean. So the plot. So what happens? We start in space, which is nice for a space movie.
Yeah, they nailed it right away. In space, don't have to get there, already on the way to somewhere. Mm-hmm, it's one of those, it's the year 2000 something. It's like maybe...
I think it's 2057. I think they said it 50 years in the future, which is bad. That's not a realistic timeline for what's going on in this world. But,
yeah,
okay.
That's like 100 years to build something like that.
100 years to build something like that, but also like many years for you to see an effect in the sun that has that type of damage, I think.
Yeah.
So the premise is that the sun is failing. The sun is dying, and it's not producing as much energy, so Earth is cooling down and crops are failing and bad things are happening. Yeah,
they show like one of the main character's sisters in Australia, like, and it's covered in snow to let you know this shit's for real. Australia's got snow.
Yes, this is different and bad.
Yeah.
And so they have sent this mission of 8 astronauts to the sun to try and set off more nuclear reactions inside of it.
It's the second mission they're sending, right? Because the first one just they lost contact with years ago, and
yeah. So there was Icarus 1, and then 7 years later they launched this mission, Icarus 2.
And the ship is giant, right? It's like
huge.
Kilometers and kilometers long.
It looked huge. It has its own little environmental control system. It has this huge sun shield that becomes a plot point later on. Mm-hmm. And it has these like rotating arms, I imagine, to give it some sort of gravity thing. But yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's giant. It's because it's got to carry 7 astronauts to the sun and ostensibly back after they drop their payload.
8.
Is it 8?
It's 8 at the beginning.
Oh, well, sorry, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone, spoiler, everyone in this movie dies.
Yeah, there's like, the sun lives.
The sun lives, and the people on Earth, they do carry out their mission. The people on Earth get a brighter sun after this, but every named character that you see dies.
Yeah, and the cast is fucking baller too. So it's true. Like, it's each time somebody dies, with the knowledge of who they are now, you're like, oh man.
Okay, so let's talk about the movie. Let's talk about what they do. They are in this ship going to the sun, and they realize that there's a distress beacon coming from the first Icarus ship, Icarus 1. And they have to make a decision over whether or not they go to rendezvous with Icarus 1 to see if there are any survivors or if they could use any of their supplies, or if they stay on their main course to deliver the payload. And Sean, what do they decide to do?
Well, there's a lot of fighting. Captain America, Chris Evans, is adamant they keep on their mission. Because I think he literally says there's literally nothing more important than this mission. We can't risk it for anything. Mm-hmm. And then I think they realize they're not going to have enough oxygen to get there and back.
No, they wouldn't know at that point. They still have enough oxygen because this is before the fire. The reason, so they put it up to Cillian Murphy's character, Kappa. And Kappa is the physicist on the team who is an expert in this like payload, the nuclear bomb type thing that they're using to turn the sun back on. And he runs a bunch of simulations that are inconclusive about how the mission would go. And that's because the bomb that they're using has not been tested.
Because they can't. How would you test it?
How would you test it on Earth? And also they used all of the materials that we have on Earth to make it. So there wasn't another one. And so Kappa decides we should go to rendezvous with Icarus 1 because then we can use their payload and 2 chances are better than 1.
Yeah, which is correct. I mean, that's like if you're not sure, not sure, but also
you have a plan.
Yeah, you have a plan, and you got a distress call from a ship that vanished.
Yeah, just don't do it. Just don't. Maybe that makes me a bad human. Maybe this means that if I were in the middle of the ocean and I heard a distress beacon, I wouldn't go. But space is different. Space is very different, and when you have an important mission to carry out, don't divert your path. Anyway, they divert their path. They turn towards Icarus 1, and what happens? It's
almost like, Chris Evans argued against it, and the minute they like divert their course, shit that he was worried about going wrong starts going wrong. So like the big plot turn here is that I think it's Benedict Wong. He's the guy doing all the vectoring and figuring out
the navigation guy.
He's the nav guy, and he figures out he correctly plots the new course, but he forgets to adjust the shield for the different course. And it's like 1.1% off. And it's enough to like burn a big chunk of the ship or start burning it.
Mm-hmm. Including the section where all of their herbs and like oxygen producing gardens were.
Yeah.
So they're screwed. And now they like need to get to Icarus 1.
But while they're out there, while that's happening, the captain, played by the amazing Hiroyuki Sanada, he and is it Cillian? Is it Cilly Murphy? He and Cilly Murphy have to go out. They have to fix something so that the shield can properly realign itself. Yeah. And while they're out there, like they run out of time because the computer is on autopilot. It's like, reverting to normal course or whatever it was. And Hiroyuki has to sacrifice himself as the captain to get the last piece put in the ship properly fixed. He's got to fix the one last thing.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say, but he fixes it and he dies and it's very sad, but Cilly Murphy gets away because he's a silly boy who needs silly times.
He doesn't get very many silly times in this movie.
He does not.
Yeah, that's body number 1. Body number 1 down of 8.
R.I.P. King.
R.I.P. King. Okay, so they get to Icarus 1 and they discover bad things.
Like right away, do they see the burnt remains, the ashes?
Not right away, but they do find it. And so like this part in the middle is it gets kind of confusing and the movie, I think, has a lot of stuff that it could have trimmed in this section, but when they get to the other ship, they find that someone sabotaged the mission, and that the crew members either were killed or they decided to die by exposing themselves to the full energy of the sun in the observation room, which is terrifying.
By the way, they have an observation room for a trip to the sun, so that's like weird thing number one. Maybe just don't do that.
You're right. Maybe maybe don't give people that temptation.
Yeah, it's like you're in a submarine. Oh, come into the underwater portion of the submarine. Don't have an underwater portion of a submarine.
So true.
Inside the submarine. That's crazy.
It's asking for trouble.
Yeah.
It's asking for psychotic breaks on these years-long mission to the sun. Okay, so they get to Icarus 1, and then something happens where Icarus 2, like the way that it docks with Icarus 1 is broken. Like bad things start happening on Icarus 2, the main ship. Yeah,
where they join. It's not clear. It wasn't clear to me if that was ultimately sabotaged played by Mark Strong, the insane captain of the Icarus 1, because they find a video on Icarus 1 where he's like giving this religious screed about the sun basically being God and how he's been communing with the sun, and you get the sense he's probably the reason everybody on the ship has died and the ship went dark.
Yes, and that is confirmed later. So to fast forward through a bunch of stuff, a couple people make it back from Icarus 1 to Icarus 2. We lose the psychology person, and we lose the comms person. Harvey.
He sucks. Fuck Harvey. He's such a loser.
Harvey sucks, but Searle was okay. Searle was cool, and I love that Searle got to go out the way that I think Searle really wanted to go out.
Yeah.
But Kappa and Macy, who is played by Captain America, they make it back to Icarus 2, and it gets really messy from here. But the gist of it is that the captain from Icarus 1 went crazy. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about Pinbacker is his name?
Pinbacker is played by Mark Strong, who you know from like a million. He plays a bad guy in a million different things. Tall, bald British actor. He's amazing.
Could not pick this man out of a lineup.
Have you ever seen the Kingsman movies or?
Do they have suits?
Yes, they have suits. That's the one with suits. You've seen that?
I've seen the one with suits.
Oh, great. He's the bald guy. So.
Okay.
That's all you need to know. He's the bald guy. But he's in a million other things too. He's in the Kingsman. He's in Miss Sloane. He's in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Haha.
He's in those Shazam movies.
And they didn't even show his face.
Yeah, we'll get
to that with my peeves.
Gotcha. But yeah, he just went nuts, and he went ham on the crew because he believes they're not supposed to restart the sun. Right.
God wants humanity to die. And that's why God shut off the sun. And Pinbacker is taking it into his hands to fix it all for God. Pinbacker kills a bunch of people on Icarus 2. He kills Corey, which was my least favorite part.
Yeah, that was very sad.
Justice for Corey. Who was that actress? I've seen her in things.
Michelle Yeoh, the agriculture expert, right?
Yes. Yeah. And she dies when she so her entire department got burned up, and she manages to find like one little sprout left over in the rubble, and then she dies as she's like holding it. It's so sad.
they pimp this thing in the beginning of the movie. There's like these electric rotor scalpel things that they have for some fucking reason. Just a scalpel isn't enough, but these actually twirl, and Mark Strong, Pinback, goes in and gets her in the back, tells her not to fight it.
I didn't like it. So Pinbacker kills everyone. Kappa eventually gets away from Icarus 2 with the big bomb that they're sending into the sun, and has to ride it into the sun with Pinbacker and another...
Rose Byrne is the other person, his sort of girlfriend. Yes. She's a crew member, but they're fucking. They're just fucking. I think they're fucking. I thought they were fucking. Is that one scene where they're in, like, it's in bed?
Yeah, but I feel like they just all have like close quarters. I don't know.
I'm not.
Maybe we'll just that's in the rubric, Sean.
Okay,
we'll get to it in the rubric. But yeah, there's another crew member, Cassie, there, and they disarm Pinbacker. Ha ha ha. That's a pun. They disarm Pinbacker and then they ride the bomb into the sun. And the last scene of the movie is Kappa's sister back in Australia, covered in snow, but you see the sun start to get a lot brighter, indicating that their mission was a success. And it's beautiful. It's touching. Yeah,
it's like he's got that message he sent her, like they're going into a comms blackout, and the last message he sends her in the beginning of the movie is, you'll know our mission worked if you go outside one morning and look up and see the sun just a little bit brighter. Mm-hmm. It's a nicer day. And then she does.
She does it. It's beautiful. And roll credits. Hey, it's me. Sean went to call Carol, our director. She's doing some last-minute editing of episode 3, which comes out next week. Y'all, I'm so proud of That's a Lot. It is my acting debut, and I was actually really nervous to get into it. On our first day of filming, I was actually about to cry right before we shot our first scene, and Sean reached over and he, patted my back. I've since learned he could not tell I was about to cry, but he was just so, calming and comforting, and we got through that scene, and it was just like the beginning of a race. We shot off from there. So I'm super proud of That's a Lot. Please go watch and follow That's a Lot Show, and Sean and I are going to talk about it more at the end of this episode. But before I get too emotional about it, I want to thank all of my patrons who support the show financially every month. Thank you so much. I'm an independent podcast, and it's really hard to continue creating stuff when you don't have some company backing you. So I'm so grateful to have all of your support backing the show financially. And I want to give a huge thank you and a special shout out to my Sun-like stars, Scott Reynolds, Tom T, Nicole Bartlett, and Ashley Shambo. You are all golden, beautiful stars, and I appreciate you so much. If you want to join this awesome group of people and support an indie podcast on Patreon, you can hear your name on the show, make it onto my patron star chart, and get research notes for most episodes for $5 a month at patreon.com/palebluepod. You can also make a one-time donation as a supernova at the PayPal link in the episode description if a recurring support thing is not something you can do. And if you can't support financially at all, I understand. I love you, and you are still space. Actually, the best way to help the show grow is to get more people listening to it. So if you take an episode that you really love and send a link to someone who you think would love it just as much, that is a great way to support the show. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much in advance. Next, I have a message from all of Multitude. We need your help shaping the future of Multitude by filling out our annual summer survey. We take your opinions very seriously. Past surveys have helped us decide what kinds of shows to make, where to tour, and what kind of merch to make, which is something I am actively thinking about right now. So we want to hear your voice. Plus, every survey ends with a collage of Multitude pet pics, including my darling Cosmo. So you won't want to miss this year's new additions. We promise. Check it out. Please take 10 minutes to help us make better shows for you. I said that I'm thinking about making merch available, like actual merch that I didn't just design myself while I was in a book frenzy. I'm so sorry about that. But I have been talking to an actual merch company. So if you fill out that survey and you let me know what kind of merch you're looking for, that would be so helpful. So head on over to multitude.productions/survey, and that link is definitely in the episode description. Sean's off the phone. Sounds like episode 3 is ready, but first you have to watch episodes 1 and 2. They come out today. Episode 1 drops at 10 a.m. and episode 2 drops at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So people on the West Coast are extra lucky. They get to see it before work. So again, That's a Lot show, and Sean and I are going to talk about it at the end of the episode, but let's get back to talking about sunshine. So that's the movie. There's a lot that we missed, but I think that gives you the general idea of what the movie is about. And now I want to talk about the things that we hated about this movie, Sean. We can go back and forth. I have 7.
You have more? No, really?
Yes.
All right. Like mine are mostly like the stress, that sort of thing. And like, the stress thing is a lot. Like the whole movie is stressful, but the reason it's stressful is everything that happens. There's like not one action that occurs that just goes off without a hitch. Everything that happens is its own little movie within the movie. Like when the ships break apart, you know, there's a whole 4 people on a desert island, you know, who gets the last rations level of discussion with like who gets the one spacesuit. And then, you know, we're going to wrap you 2 guys in tinfoil, you know, reflective stuff to keep some of the heat. And you're just going to jump out into space and hopefully you'll make it through the airlock. What about you?
Yeah, it was very stressful. Okay, these are the science-y peeves that I have with this movie. The first is when they're approaching the sun and they get all excited because they can see Mercury. At that point, they were at most 36 million miles away from the sun. So they should have been right on top of Mercury.
Yeah.
And Mercury is bigger than the moon. It should have looked much larger. It should have been more detailed than what they showed, which was just like a dark disk passing in front of the sun. So their scale was totally off. But I think the reason for that is that this movie was released in 2007. Before that, the only missions to go to Mercury were some like early stuff in the 60s and then the Mariner missions in the 70s. Then we didn't send anything there until the Messenger mission, which launched in 2004 but got there in 2011. So they just didn't have a good picture of Mercury at that point to show us, but they could have made something up. So I'm mad.
It was like a filtered image of it, too, because they couldn't look directly at it. So it's like, you know, it basically looked like a small sun, the way they showed it.
Well, when they showed it, because I was expecting it to be much larger in their field of view, I thought that dark disk was a moon around Mercury. And I almost started writing, oh, no, there's no moons around Mercury. But no, it was Mercury itself showing it in front of the sun. And even if they had played around with filters, but just like brought it closer, because they were doing a gravity assist around Mercury, which I loved. But when you do a gravity assist, you can get to within a few hundred miles of the surface of the planet. So it would have been a lot bigger.
Because it has no atmosphere, right? Like they wouldn't have to worry about drag or anything going by. They could get real close. Real close.
And that's part of why we use it as a gravity assist. Do you have any other peeves or should I just like run through my science list?
Yeah, no, I do. Like the fact that this is a mission to the sun, and it's like it's a Hail Mary mission, if you will. They had room for a comms officer, but they immediately run into oxygen issues. And like, he's got like one scene where he's sort of helpful, and then another, like he puts Benedict Wong on bed rest because he feels that Wong's character is the nav guy who messed up and he was on suicide watch. It's like the immediate inconvenience of having that extra body breathing air, and a lot of the other things that happen are very like, well, if we just didn't do that, this stuff wouldn't have happened. It's like, I know you got to do bad things to your characters, but it's like on a dime.
All like one after another, they could not catch a break. And like even in the most stressful situations, something goes right.
Yeah, you get like, oh, the smoothie machine's at least working, but we're going to die in a zombie apocalypse. Like, well, the smoothie machine worked.
Right, give them a little treat.
Yeah, like they have one last dinner or something before everybody gets stabbed from Pinbacker.
Yeah.
How about you? Note. You have like 30 more. What are yours? I want to hear them.
Okay, my next is that it seemed, and maybe I just missed something, but it seemed to me like they found Icarus 1 in a static, like stationary location near the sun. And it should be moving. It should be in orbit around the sun. Stuff in space doesn't just sit still by accident. It would require a lot of fuel and energy through thrusters to keep that ship in one space, and its navigation systems were broken.
Yeah, it said nothing about matching their speed.
Yeah.
It was just like, we're catching up to it.
Yeah, like we're going to where it is. Like there was no discussion about its motion.
Yeah, it has to keep going around the sun to not fall into the sun. It's how orbits work.
Even then, I think it probably would spiral in towards the sun because it doesn't have any of its own energy anymore.
That's right.
So, that was a peeve for me. Ugh, them running. I guess this isn't really sciencey, but them running through the skin dust on Icarus 1 to get back in time, I was actually gagging. I
had to applaud him. Like that's just like a fun beat. There's nothing grimmer than walking through ashes And they're just like, it's everywhere. Just those are your fellow crewmates.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that Searle called it right away, they saw a bunch of dust and Searle was like, 80% of dust is human skin. And then it turned out to just be like actual ashes from burned human beings.
He's like the guy you don't want at a party. Like, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Pinbacker. I have some thoughts on Pinbacker. The moment where Silly Murphy traps Pinbacker in the observation deck and says, Icarus, go full sun.
Yeah.
And Pinbacker is unharmed. Like, I'm sorry, you cannot build up some sort of like tolerance to photo evaporation like you can to iocane powder. You are not the Dread Pirate Roberts, okay?
Yeah, he's totally, if you haven't guessed by now, Mark Strong, Pinbacker, is very melty looking. He's been melted a little bit, and there's a horrible, horrible moment at the end of the movie where he's trying to stop them from dropping the payload. Because he's got like crazy person strength where he probably can't feel anything anymore. And he picks up Silly Murph and is about to drop him over the ledge of the device. And Silly Murph starts peeling away his arm, muscle, and skin. It's which is very zombie-like.
Mm-hmm. But like, I guess going along with the Pinbacker stuff, you don't get a good view of him. They made a cinematic choice to do weird stuff with the camera where every time Pinbacker was on screen, he was like warped and there was weird sounds, and I hated it. I understand that this is supposed to be like a horror movie and he's like a monster, but he's still just a man. And I don't like that they tried to make that seem faceless and like mystical because he's just a dude who like his head got too big.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I disagree because, like, if this is what they're going for, this style of this stressful space movie, that was actually a good choice because if you linger on his melty face, it does become too human. And then you're like, oh, why didn't they just kill him? And then if they keep him in a state of, like, they do this thing, it's probably an After Effect mixed with a little camera motion, but it's like the screen is jiggling back and forth very quickly with this jarring noise, almost like something trapped in a motor.
Yeah.
Like the blades of a motor, like hitting a baseball card over and over and over again, while he's on screen. And then they cut to Silly Murph, and that noise goes away and it's just a regular shot. So every time you see this guy, you're meant to be stressed out and think he's not just a guy. And he's been alone for 7 years. He's just lost it. So I don't know. Yeah. I was okay with it. I hear you though.
Nice. Ooh. Not consensus. How exciting. That's what art is supposed to do. It is supposed to make us feel things, and we're all going to have different emotional reactions to that. That's great. Why did Icarus 2 not just warn them that there was an intruder? The ship knew how many people were on board. It could clearly identify them. Why did it wait for Silly Murph to ask?
The classic AI thing, like, you did not ask me. Where is the off button to the destructo beam?
Right. That made me mad. I was screaming at the TV. The gravity situation inside the payload was very weird. Did you see that? You noticed that too? Yeah,
it's like the surface of the floor changed a couple times. Also, if they're not moving, like they're that close to the sun, you're just all crushed unless you've got like some anti-gravity thing going on in there.
They must have. They simply must have had some sort of artificial gravity thing inside the payload, as they kept calling it. But there was one sequence, like after Silly Murph peels off Pinbacker's arm, there's a scene where Silly Murph is standing on one side of this big, it's almost like a cube.
Yeah.
Like the Borg in Star Trek.
Yeah, it looks like the Borg.
Yeah. And so Silly Murph is standing on one side of the cube, and Pinbacker is standing on the edge, but like still standing on technically another side of the cube, and they're both standing fine.
Yeah.
And I wonder if this isn't a very science-y movie. Like it's obviously it's sci-fi, but like it's not a very hard science-y movie. Nope. And so I don't think that was an intentional like gravity choice. I think that was a cinematic choice.
No, that seems like it had to be, because otherwise you have to get into like there's some future tech here, or you have to bother explaining it. And like that's not what, Danny Boyle's movies are about. It's about the heart and it's the visceral, not the head shaker. Whoa, that I never thought about that. It's just like,
okay, that's good to know. See, look at you having context for like the creative minds of these people. My final point is the whole premise of the movie, which is the idea that the sun could fail in this way. I didn't hear an explanation in the movie itself, so I went online and I found people saying that there was a cue ball in the sun. Have you heard this?
No.
Okay. So a cue ball is this completely hypothetical physics thing. It's a really dense type of particle that is so heavy that it kind of rips apart other particles around it or like destroys them in some way. And so if we got a cue ball in the sun, it would disrupt things on a nuclear level, like on an atomic level.
Is a cue ball the sort of thing that just can appear on its own, like magically, like a quark or something?
Hypothetically, yes, but only in under some conditions, and apparently our sun is not massive enough to meet those criteria. Also, like if cue balls are real, apparently they would have the opposite effect, where because they are disrupting things at the nuclear level, they're like tearing stuff apart, which generates energy is going to be generated, so the sun would get brighter.
So if there's like, because the sun goes through its phases where it goes through the fuel, like it winds up, it's like hydrogen, then oxygen, then eventually once it gets to iron, that's the death of a star. It could rip apart any late stage material like that and keep it going longer.
I don't think it changes the rate of evolution for a star. I think it just changes the path. So it probably wouldn't do all of that fusion up to iron. I think that its atomic nuclei would not be okay with fusion anymore.
Well, I meant like if our sun was at that phase where like it had produced, I'm almost dead level materials, like whatever the level it can get up to. I don't know if it's big enough to make iron.
No, our sun probably isn't going to get up to iron. Our sun is really inefficient. Our sun is going to burn through like 10, maybe 20% of the hydrogen in its core to turn into helium. And then once it has mostly like helium in its core, it's going to trigger a few other reactions that won't result in a big explosion, but will puff our sun up. It's that extra heat inside from helium fusion that will expand the sun into the red giant phase.
So it'll be like a husky kid. It'll be the kid who wears the husky jeans like I was.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just like a kid in the winter wearing a bunch of layers.
The big poofy, yeah.
Just big puffer jacket.
Big puffer jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I like
or
that.
Both. Put on a little bit of natural warmth too.
I'm going to miss our sun,
Yeah.
We'll be here for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, when the cue ball hits and the sun goes crazy, we'll totally... No, listeners, this is not going to happen. The entire premise of this movie is a lie, so you don't have to worry about it. Those are all my peeves.
Okay. I mean, those are all valid. I feel like all of that's valid. I guess I would maybe just add like Silly Murph's character is so important. The other actors had to do a lot of like heavy lifting with their work to make, hey, I'm this person. You're like, you find out a little later on, oh, your comms, or like, oh, your navigation. Like for a big chunk of the movie, they're just like, hey, we're the crew. And here's the guy with the voiceover you recognize, because Silly Murph was like really blown up at that time. That's just a storytelling thing. And, he resolves it quickly enough, but I could have used that a little faster, could have used a little more specificity with them. I agree.
I had to return to a section of my notes throughout the entire movie to list names and positions. So,
yeah. Same.
What about things you liked, Sean?
Well, I'm going to go back to the stress. I like the stress. That's part of the movie. So this is the irony. It's like he wields it so well. It's like everything that can go wrong goes wrong, which I also hate, but I also love how he makes that happen. And the heartbreak, like we were talking about Michelle Yeoh and her dying, she's been stabbed and she decides to sit there and bleed out with the one little seedling that's left. And
with just sweat and tears running down her face.
She knows she's going, and it's like that's a really sweet thing. And then like Silly Boy's being chased by Mark Strong. I almost called him Strong Man. I'm going to start calling him Strong Man. I'm going to call him Strong Bad.
Strong Bad.
Yeah, she's getting chased by Strong Bad, and like every step of that chase is like, Christ, It's not like jump scares. It's like thrill backaways. Like, if you could see me, I'm backing away from the computer screen to demonstrate what I would do. It's not a jump scare, though. I would like to make that distinction. So I love that. And I'm probably not like you. I am a sucker for basically anything in space. And a lot of the times I block out the part of my brain that starts vetting it for,
Yes.
for anything real. You
Yes.
could just, it's in space. Sure. I accept that as a premise. Go movie. So
Good. I think that's how they want you to engage with this movie.
yeah, I am the perfect dupe. I'm the perfect person to go see all space movies.
Your point about the stress being enjoyable, there was one moment in this movie where I agree with you. Mm-hmm. It's the moment at the end where Silly Murph is trying to get to the payload. He's in the golden spacesuit. He's stepping through a door and he falls flat on his face. And I know that that's supposed to be a stressful moment, but because it's the smallest stressor that has happened in this entire movie, I laughed out loud. He his arms were flailing. Like, it was so stupid.
That was like the only time where I thought they were trying to show the gravity getting heavier, because he's just lying there for a minute and he's like smacking. He's like, man, I can't. I'm so close to the payload being dropped, and this happens. He's having one of those like mini tantrums on the floor. Mm-hmm. And you're sad for her.
You were. I was too busy laughing to notice any gravity. So
Respect
look at you.
For Kappa.
Yeah. Sometimes the stress is
also
enjoyable.
Yeah, I enjoyed that we both had the same problem with Captain America and the character Kappa, because they just sort of say his name so quickly it sounds like Cap half the time, and half the time Chris Evans is in the scene with him. So you're like, oh, they're calling him Captain America years before he got that job. That's weird. Oh, the character's name, I had to look it up. I was like, his name is Kappa. But it took like 2 beats before I realized what I was doing.
Do you watch with subtitles?
No.
That'll do it. Yeah, that's my hot tip. To watch
I
with
do
subtitles.
sometimes, just not that one. I think I was watching that on TV and then the iPad and then back on the TV, so I didn't want to switch.
Makes sense. I loved the makeup of the ship. I think the like ecology room they had, stunning. I loved that. What's the shot where you're like setting things up? I know there's a word for it.
Establishing shot?
Thank you. Yes. I loved that. And then the Earth room, when Captain America gets sent to the Earth room because he like threw a fit. That is, I think, what the holodeck on Star Trek started out as. Like that was really nice to watch.
That was peaceful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because
I loved that.
Chris Evans comes, like, he gets into a fight with Kappa because Kappa took too long getting his last message off before they entered a comms blackout. So he didn't get to send a message back to his family. And so he was pissed. They just cut to them like wrestling, and then he's got to go see the ship psychologist because he's got to do something. And the ship psychologist sends Chris Evans to the peaceful room to calm down. And it fucking works. You see Chris Evans like physically de-stress. That was like the best part. You're right. That was great because I felt really like, oh man, I would love to watch realistic waves come in from my room. Yeah.
One day. Maybe.
Someday. Maybe.
Any other thieves?
That was definitely, I think I'm glad you mentioned that because that's definitely one of them. I do like the fact that there are tragic and unnecessary deaths, but there are 2 or 3 heroic deaths where the cost, like they put their money where their mouth is. Like Chris Evans' character and Hiroki's characters, like both were the 2 main advocates for the mission is the most important thing. And they both died. Chris Evans' character, like strong man, strong bad, has taken the supercomputers that runs navigation in the entire ship and pulled them up from the supercooling fluid they're in. And so it's overheating and they stop being able to use the ship, and Chris Evans has to go back and try to get the hard drives back into the supercool. So he's got to get his whole body in there. And at the very end, his leg gets caught on something sharp and it starts to pull him down just as he's got the last. It's like 4 big pillars of hardware that go in, and he just shivers to death, half in, half out. And I hated that for him, but I love, it's good storytelling.
Yeah. Yes. See, this is what I mean. I hated this movie, but I respect the hell out of it.
There we go.
And my last thief is how, maybe not all, but so many of the deaths were foreshadowed.
Yeah.
Chris Evans, whatever the fuck his name is, Macy.
Framingham's Kiss Evans.
Yes.
He's from my hometown.
Your neighbor, Chris Evans, he, at the beginning of the movie, he drops something in the cooling chamber and he has to reach in to get it and he's like hurt by it. And Searle at the very beginning of the movie is in the observation room and he like wants to see as much of the sun as he can and then he dies from full exposure to the sun. And there are a few others like that, like Cassie and Kappa both have dreams of falling into the sun.
Yes.
And they both die in the payload falling into the sun. I love that type of storytelling when things really close nicely with a loop like that.
I like that too. My only thing with the Chris Evans cooling stuff was like he drops something in the cooling stuff, grabs it really quickly, and he's like worried about frostbite within 2 seconds. But the way he dies, he goes under the supercooling fluid for like 30 seconds while he adjusts something in the hard drive and the pillar starts to come down and he crawls out freezing. He has to do that 3 more times, like in a few minutes. Right. It's like,
come on, man.
Yeah, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Boyle. Figure it out, Boyle.
This is what it's a soft sci-fi.
Yeah,
They're not trying to make the most scientific sense.
It's a dramatic science fiction. The drama, emphasis on the drama.
The drama. Speaking of the drama, it's time for us to rate this movie. I have 5 different categories on the rubric, and we'll go through one by one. The first category is storytelling. What do we think of the story?
I want to give it a 3, but I feel there are, some loopholes, so I'd give it a 2 and a 2. Is it just 2, or do you do 2.5?
We do all decimals here.
I would give it a 2.5 stars.
2.5 suns. We're going to do it out of suns today. Yeah, okay. I like the story. I think I would have given it a little bit of a lower score. I do think that it could have been trimmed a bit, but that was like an artistic choice, so I will respect it. 2.5.
All right. Nice. Thank you.
Next category is scenery. How did the movie look? Like, what was its production value in your mind?
I mean, it wasn't just, they did the minimalist stuff inside, the crew cabins, but then there's that lush arboretum, that area where they do the oxygen farm. That was also great. The ship design is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a big, big swing of a story, too. It's like, hey, we're reigniting the sun is about as big as it gets. So, I don't know. I'd give that a 3. I could give that a 3, all told.
No, I'm with you. The way it looks, like, it's beautiful. It is it looks good as a movie, even when I didn't necessarily like what was happening.
Yeah.
And you may have heard me let out a big gasp in there because I realized that I did not say one of my biggest peeves about the movie. One of the biggest science peeves I had is Harvey's death scene, where Harvey gets trapped out in the cold vacuum of space and he freezes in like 30 seconds. And that's just not what would happen.
That's right.
Space is a vacuum, and so there's not a lot of material to draw heat away from your body. So it would actually take several hours to freeze out in space. Also, they were much closer to the sun.
Yeah, they were really close.
Yeah, they're pretty close to the sun. I think temperatures are going to be much hotter there. So that's just a peeve. Yeah,
but it was cool that he's floating in the shadow of the reflective thing. And
it looked good.
Yeah, the second he passes into the sun, he just flares briefly, and that's it. And that was a beautiful shot about how tiny we are in the scheme of things.
Yes. So again, adding 3 to scenery, I think, feels right. Yeah. Next on steaminess, and here's where we can talk about that relationship between Cilly Murphy and Cassie. This is about how appropriate the level of steaminess is in the movie. And when I watched it, I detected no romance and loved it. That to me felt absolutely correct for a movie like this.
Because it's not about that.
Exactly, yeah. It's not about that. And they were out in space for years. People probably fucked.
Yeah.
I get it, yeah. But there wasn't romance. Like, there wasn't a love story in this.
And they didn't try to do it like, there's 4 men and 4 women, so, you know what's going to happen. They just you're on probably a suicide mission. Good luck. Bye.
Right.
Most qualified wins.
Yeah. Everyone get on birth control before you leave.
Yeah. It was very sterile. It was sterile in a good way. It was like, don't distract. So I appreciated this. Do you give a higher score for doing the right thing with steaminess? Okay.
Yeah, so I would give it a 3.
I agree.
I love a movie where they don't force a romance down my throat.
I agree.
Okay, the next one is scientific accuracy, Sean.
Probably 1. I think we can both agree it's probably a 1 or less.
Yeah. No debate there. There was some good stuff.
Yeah.
Showing that even like a 1 degree angle change for a sun shield is going to really affect you that much. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
At one point, Captain America, which I'm going to keep calling him, Captain America, when there's a fire in the ecology room, he has the bright but devastating idea to flood it with oxygen so that there's a flash burn. And I'm like, yes. Look at that. Smart. So yeah, some science was good.
Yeah. But again, it's like, it's accept the premise or fuck off sort of movie. Like the sun is dying and we got to do something about it. So me and a set of 5 plumbers went up there to fix its pipes. Sure, the Sun Plumbers, everybody. Danny Boyle's Sun Plumbers.
Okay, but I would so watch Sun Plumbers.
You lean into being dumb. It's like, this pipe, it's got this pipe that's been off. That's why the sun's getting weaker.
If Seth MacFarlane wants to make Sun Plumbers, I will watch it, is what I'm saying.
It's like Armageddon meets this movie meets a 70-point IQ drop.
Yeah, that's the Venn diagram I'm looking for. And then the final category here.
What? No.
I know. The final category is soothing. How good do you think this movie makes people feel about the universe?
It's real bad. But
it's real bad.
But like, the heroism is something to applaud. Like, hey, there are people who would do that. Makes you think.
Yeah, like there's some hope.
And there was also like, look, Crazy Man Strong Bad in his crazy tirade explains like, at some point there will be one last man on Earth, and he will die.
He's
and
vaguely
the human
Russian.
Race. He is weirdly Russian. It didn't make any sense. His name's Pinbacker. Is that? It's not like we know. It's like Ilyevich Pinbacker. It's
right.
Just, but there's something soothing in the absolute disappearance of the human race.
Well, to me, but not to most.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
Sean, I want to give this like a 0.25.
Yeah. It doesn't. It's real low. Give it.
It's real low. Okay.
Yeah.
10 out of 15 is not bad for a movie I hated, but, thought was objectively good.
Yeah. Then that's a great way to put it. Even if you don't like it, it's objectively a well-made movie. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, listeners, if you like stress, I think that you should check it out. If you don't like stress, just skip it.
This is the sort of movie that if you watch on streaming, all the ads are going to be like antacid and like anti-anxiety meds because they know their market. So.
Yeah, they do. So that's all I had on Sunshine.
Nice.
I want to talk about our show that we made together that people can watch today. On the day that this episode is coming out, August 18th, we are releasing the first 2 episodes of our show, That's a Lot. Sean, can you give like the elevator pitch for That's a Lot?
Sure.
What's it about?
This is based on a show that I had a deal for like 20 million years ago in LA when I was a security guard at Warner Brothers. We wound up, my writing partner at the time and I wound up pitching and getting a deal together to do a show about 2 security guards on the Warner Brothers lot. And some things happened. It didn't work out. But all these years, it's kind of been bugging me because it's a, as we call it in the late night business, it's kind of a joke bucket, which means it's endlessly refillable for jokes, but it's also got a lot of room for character. So it just seemed like such a loss. So I talked to Moiya and our creative partner, my wife, Carol Hartzell, who's our director. And I was like, how about we do this? And we started putting together. It's about 2 security guards on the last movie and TV studio lot in the Western Hemisphere. It's low key about how a predatory economy can ruin everybody's lives. Mm-hmm. Up top, it is a intergenerational reference-filled comedy about these 2 people slowly becoming, if not friends, realizing they're going to be coworkers for a while, all while they have to navigate the horrible, horrible things that happen on the lot and that they're forced to do on the lot because it takes place on Private Equity Brothers movie studio. So imagine a movie studio called Private Equity Brothers and how bad the world would probably have to be for that to be the only movie studio left. It's not that much further along than us, but it's further along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a satire. It's a near future satire.
And that was a long elevator ride, by the way, if that was the pitch. I understood.
Yeah, we were going up to the penthouse.
It was like 500-story building. I apologize.
No, I love it. We filmed on Governor's Island, walking around dressed like security guards. People thought we were like legit security guards.
We kept telling them we were not. We were like very careful. Like, this is all a show. Please don't ask us to stop a thing or a conflagration or get you water.
Right. I was genuinely walking past groups of people going like, I'm not a cop. I'm not a cop. I can't arrest you.
There was that group of kids that were walking back to the boat and they were like, look at these motherfuckers playing at ice. It's
right.
Like, oh, man. No.
Sean, what do you think people will like most about That's a Lot?
I think they're going to like you. They're going to like me. I think they're going to like our relationship as it starts and stutters and builds. But I also think they're going to like the insane shit that happens on the lot, which we did. Moiya and I are the only two people on screen almost the entire time. And that's on purpose. But there's a lot of stuff that happens off camera that's referenced to things that are happening now in the world and with movies and TV shows and celebrities that exist. So there's so much we play with in this thing. It never gets boring. The longest one is 2 minutes, and that's with a an end credit sequence. So these things, I think they're going to love that these move. They really, really move, and they're hilarious. We did it.
Yes.
I'm going to toot our own horn. We all did a really great job writing and producing and directing this. Well, we did. Direct.
Carol did a great job directing. We did a great job acting in it. My acting debut, and we all did such an amazing job as a team with this incredible crew we had working with us.
DP Dave fucking crushed it out there every day.
Yeah, he did. Carrying that camera most of the time, that's heavy stuff.
Yeah, his tiny little back was hurting. He was going for some really tough shots there.
No, I know. I felt so bad, but no, it was full of rock stars out on Governor's Island when we were making this. I think you all will really like the intergenerational stuff, like the conversation Sean and I had in this episode about like flock of seagulls and like who is David Byrne. That's the type of interaction we have in the show. And so check it out. You can watch it on TikTok, you can watch it on Instagram, and you can watch it on YouTube.
Follow us at That's a Lot Show.
Yes.
That's the handle for everything, I believe.
That's the handle for everything, and I'm putting that down in the episode description. Check it out. The first 2 episodes are out today, and we'll be releasing usually 2, but sometimes 1 episode each week until October. So check it out.
And then on Wednesdays, we're doing a behind the scenes video that you'll get to check out. And Fridays, we do what was real, what was not video. Because a lot of this is based on stuff that's really happening in the world. Or like Moiya and I and Carol were developing 2 different science comedy shows, one with PBS and one with BBC over the years. But then COVID and then the strikes and then time to move on. But that's, stuff like that is in there. All of that is stuff we went through together.
Yeah. So check it out. Follow That's a Lot Show, please. If you like Pale Blue Pod, I think you will really enjoy it. Not just because it's me, but because you clearly have taste. And the show is hilarious. So go watch it.
Go watch it.
Yes. Sean, do you have any personal links that you would like to share?
If you guys need a production company, just go to spacebeach.tv. Follow me on Instagram at Crespoop, which I know. All right. So when I was 17, the internet was just really becoming a thing. And I went to college and I needed an email address. And I was like, I don't know, Crespoop. My last name's Crespo. What if I just said poop instead? So I picked Crespoop at Hotmail. And then time goes on. And then I had to switch to Gmail. I was like, well, I don't want people to get confused if I change it to Sean Crespo. I know. And so I kept Crespoop at Gmail. And finally, we have our own Space Beach emails, which I try to use for everything professional from now on, because I'm in my 40s and people are like, why are you applying to this job on this writing staff, that title? Okay, you're not getting this.
I do love every time I tag you in a post, though, and it's Crespoop. So go follow Crespoop.
Go follow Crespoop.
Sean, you've been great. Thank you for joining me on the show. Thank you for making That's a Lot with me. People, you will enjoy it.
You're really going to like it. Thank you, Moiya. I'll talk to you soon. Let me walk out of your office space now.
Yes.
Bye. Bye. Here I go. These are my feet walking. Oh,
Bye,
I'm closing
Sean.
a door.
Okay.
There it goes.
Okay.
Bye.
You're done, Sean. Bye.
Oh.
Listeners, no matter how sunny you are space. Bye. Pale Blue Pod is hosted by me, Dr. Moiya McTier, aka the universe's bestie. I created the show with original co-host Corinne Caputo, a comedienne extraordinaire, and help from the Multitude Productions team. Our theme music is by Evan Johnston, and our cover art is by Shay McMullen, and our audio editing is handled by the incomparable Misha Stanton. I am Go Astro Mo everywhere online, and you can stay in touch with the show and the universe by following Pale Blue Pod on Instagram or checking out our website, palebluepod.com. We are a member of Multitude, an independent podcast collective and production studio. So if you like Pale Blue Pod, you will love the other shows that live at multitude.productions. And if you want a shout out on the show and research notes for every episode, you can join our community over at patreon.com/palebluepod for just about $1 per episode. Thank you so much for listening to Pale Blue Pod. I'll be back next week. Bye.